Saying you were definitely in the right place because thousands of people are on the move this evening heading off for the last big weekend of the summer, and it looks as though our region is going to get the very best of the bank holiday weather.
It should make a fine end to the season. Campsites, hotels and tourist attractions have all benefited from the staycation summer.
Well, more of that in a moment and a look at all the bank holiday travel, but first let's hear from Claire McGlasson, who's at the venue of one of the biggest events of the weekend at Silverstone. Claire.
Yes, and I think I'm on one of the quietest stretches of roads in the regions tonight. All the cars here have retired to the pits this evening for the British Touring Car Championship, which is happening here all weekend. But of course, elsewhere across the region, things starting to get a little heavier on the roads, as they always do for the bank holidays. I'll have more on that in a moment. But first, my colleague Malcolm Robertson reports on the Great Getaway on the last weekend of a summer lived in the shadow of the recession.
The bank holiday rush is already here. Boosted by some recent very good weather, all the signs are that this will be a bumper weekend. But as summer starts to ebb away, what are the overall impressions of the season? Is the economic climate gloom or boom? When we visited Carl Spall at his beachside cafe in Great Yarmouth in April, he was hoping for a good Easter to set up his season after snow forced him to close the previous year.
After last year, no one earned anything.
Today, with the bank holiday looming, I dropped in on him to find out how his summer had gone.
The last 3 weeks have been as good as any summer we've had down here. Last year was a bad summer anyway, so we couldn't really go by that. But we've been really pleased with the last 3 weeks of this summer holiday. People have been a bit careful with their spending, but people are spending money in Yarmouth. I think they've been a bit more careful than on years gone by. The beach gear that I sell here, the buckets and spades and that, they've been a little bit slow going. We've been finding that people have been bringing stuff which they'd bought in previous years. But all in all, I'm quite happy with how things have gone.
Exactly a month ago, those coming to Waxham Sands campsite on the Norfolk coast were mightily frustrated by the wet weather.
Well, when we turned up on Friday, we had hailstones. Luckily, we just got the tent up, so that wasn't too bad. But today's only Wednesday, and we're ready to pack up and go home.
But after an almost completely dry August along the east coast, things were a lot different. It's actually turned out to be the best summer for a decade.
A lot of people got in very early on bookings this year for this bank holiday weekend. We've been full for a good 4 weeks now. We've had to been refusing people for 4 weeks.
So if anybody comes on spec today, they're not going to get in?
Unless we get a short notice cancellation, they won't get in tonight, no.
Expect the region to be very busy this weekend, but surely nowhere will be busier than Silverstone racetrack in Northamptonshire, where both the British Touring Car Championship and the World Aerobatic Championships will be held.
It's probably Silverstone's second biggest event they'll have outside of the Grand Prix. We'll have 30 to 40,000 people here on the Sunday to watch the best and most exciting racing action you'll see this year.
Our coastal attractions seem to have fared reasonably well this summer, but what about the mood in the region's towns and cities? How has the catering industry been managing? This is the Hotel du Vin in Cambridge.
The bank holidays have been a lot busier than they were last year. People are looking to stay around the region or around the UK anyway, in order to have a little bit more flexibility with their spending.
It's maybe too early to draw any real overall conclusions as to whether our tourist industry has really hit the jackpot. But when so much was clouded in uncertainty, the last few weeks have certainly brought some much-needed relief. Malcolm Robertson, Anglia News.
So, Claire, some good news for the tourist industry there, but what about those of us that are travelling this weekend? What's that looking like?
Becky, is there ever any good news on bank holiday about travelling? I think the thing is probably to stay at home, but no, we've been doing some ringing around to see whether particular problems may be. I can give you some more details now.
The rush to find some guaranteed sunshine will see 300,000 passengers pass through Stansted Airport this weekend. Luton too will be busy, with more than 70,000 people flying out and many more arriving back.
This bank holiday weekend is one of the busiest weekends of the year so far. As you can see, the airport's starting to get busy already. We're carrying over 500,000 passengers across the easyJet network, and over 60,000 of those will actually pass through Luton.
travel experts say there are few late deals available. So for those hoping to swap their staycation for a vacation, it may be too late. On the roads, it's the usual warnings about allowing extra time for journeys and being ready for queues if you're heading off to the big tourist attractions over the weekend.
We've got good weather, we've got the end of the school holidays, we've got a lot of events on this weekend, so a lot of things coming together. Kids are back at school next week, so a lot of traffic heading back over the end of the weekend, and a lot of people trying to get away for the last weekend of the summer.
On the trains, as with any bank holiday weekend, be ready for engineering work. Check with your train operator, but among the lines affected, Norwich, Cambridge and Northampton services into London. Some local trains through Essex will also be replaced by buses. And on Sunday, there's a replacement bus service on the Stansted Express.
We've just got off the phone to Traffic Master in Cranfield. I can tell you the very latest, no surprises here. I can tell you the M1 northbound at Junction 8, southbound at Junction 11, and the area where the M11 and A14 meet, always a problem spot. There are delays there northbound. The M25 Junction 16 to 18 clockwise is one to watch, and the A14 Junction 31 westbound as well. I think we can go now to a live shot at Elveston Crossroads on the A11, which, well, it crops up quite regularly on our programme. Bit of a problem there usually, but very heavy Friday night traffic all over the region. And it's this place that they're saying is one to watch right across the weekend, as lots of people are heading out, expected to head to the coast and to the Norfolk Broads to enjoy the last weekend of summer.
Thanks, Claire. Don't think she's going to have a problem getting home tonight, particularly quickly, is she? You saw the rain there at Thetford Forest. We'll have the weather forecast later on in the programme for you as well. Now, next tonight, the dispute between two neighbours that's proving a huge hit on the internet.
Luke Warr has owned a car repair business in Sudbury and Suffolk for years, but recently he's been in dispute with neighbour Valerie Dunningham over a right-of-way.
Now, it's got so bad that one day Valerie took matters into her very own hands, but it was all captured on video and posted on YouTube. Emma Baker takes up the story.
This is my drive, not yours.
The private bus stop that's become a very public row. This video shows pensioner Valerie Dunningham losing her temper with neighbour Luke Warr, all over his right-of-way through her drive in Sudbury. Now the incident's been posted on YouTube.
A friend of mine who came to the garage that day saw the video, and he's very much into his computers, and he thought it'd be funny to put it on YouTube.
The video's clocked up 12,000 views.
This dispute is all over Luke's right-of-way through Valerie's shared driveway. Now, Luke says he's always had this access and always intended on using it, but Valerie said she didn't know about this when she bought her flat, and she's not happy.
Feelings she made clear in the video. So what exactly happened?
It started off with just, telling me what I could do, and then she started pushing the bin, obviously, as you can see, and then she started hitting me with the newspaper and telling me what I could and couldn't do. I tried not to be sort of confrontational and just sort of explained very basically what I thought my rights were.
So I was cleaning my car, I had my back to him, and I had the newspaper on the car reading it, right? Just reading it. And all of a sudden I see him come through with his oily wheelie bin, and I got my newspaper and I went like this.
Valerie admits that she did lose her temper, but says this dispute has been going on for too long.
I feel bad that I lost my patience, but really after 4 years, of patience, your patience just goes.
The police did attend the incident, but no charges were made. So, after their YouTube fame, isn't it time to live and let live?
Hopefully it won't escalate anymore. I mean, it certainly won't from my side. I'm fairly laid back, so just have to see what happens.
I'm a really, really easygoing person, really easy. I live and let live is my thing. I brought my children up, 4 children up to be good with everyone. But this chap, he just will not help us.
Whatever happens in their dispute, this couple's internet fame could well continue for some time into the future. Emma Baker, Anglia News, Sudbury in Suffolk.
Oh dear. Good.